Welcome to the Fallout post-apocalyptic edition. Oh shit, I almost forgot. Finger waves for some reason. Where we break down the fallout of all of your favorite reality TV shows. Today we've got a 2-for-1 today. Everything was about in twos, duos, lots of talk about twos. So we've got episode 8 and 9. Two. But today we have episode 8 and 9 of BB Can season 9. I'm Logan Murphy.
I'm Jordyn Lagace, also known as BB Can Source.
And we've got your favorite duo here talking about the duos. Jordyn, how are you doing?
I am good. It's been a few days.
Yeah.
I feel a little out of shuffle, but I'm good.
I am right there with you. It's been a weird couple of days. Yeah, we do want to say we are sorry for not going live on Thursday with Suzette. There were a lot of things behind the scenes that happened. Suzette wasn't able to make it. We were all out of it. But yeah, so we are here reviewing episodes 8 and 9 of BB Can 9. But before we get started, if you are watching live or after the fact on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, do all those lovely, amazing YouTube things. If you're listening to us afterwards, wherever fine podcasts are available to be listened to, go subscribe and like and do all of those things as well. Follow Jordyn, follow myself if you want to, and follow the Fallout TV on Twitter. And without further ado, let's breeze through this eviction episode and tonight's episode, because it was a lot of meh. It's just a lot of meh.
We've had more interesting episodes this season, I want to say.
I mean, Thursday's eviction episode was pretty good, but it's been a few days. But we jump in to Thursday's eviction episode. Arissa in purple again, looking amazing. Looking gorgeous.
She's listening.
She is listening. I said purple, and she follows me, and I'm wearing purple specifically because Arissa looked great in purple. And we come back on Thursday's episode with a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger, Jordyn. A cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger.
That wasn't really a cliffhanger. We didn't need to have a cliffhanger.
I mean, nothing consequential came of it, so I don't understand why, but if you don't remember, the cliffhanger was whether Jed was going to use the power of veto on Kiefer or LaToya. He doesn't, but we knew that. So, for those of us who watch feeds, we weren't really surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't very surprised that he didn't use it. I don't know why you.
He was under the impression that Ty or Beth would be the Reno.
Heaven forbid either or.
Heaven forbid Beth goes home. We have really just flipped on Beth. I thought she was perfectly lovely. Not anymore, but and we see a lot. Yeah. We see a lot of Vic talking to LaToya, talking to other people, talking to the Bubble Boys, as I'm calling them now. Or I think Twitter's calling them the Bubble Brothers, Jed and Ty.
Weren't they also
the Undercover Brothers? I think is what they actually call themselves. But I'm just going to call them the Bubble Boys.
Also, they're the masterminds.
Oh, absolutely, the masterminds of the season. But yeah, and then we see Vic overhearing a conversation with LaToya, Ty, and Kiefer about like Vic not being a good player, and we get one of my favorite lines of the season from Victoria in a DR. Just because you look good doesn't mean you play good. And I was just like,
accurate.
Yes, 100%. We see LaToya in a DR saying that she's confident about having the votes to stay, so she's not really kissing anybody's ass. maybe she should have, but
yeah. And then Beth confrontation.
That's tonight's episode, my love.
Okay. Well,
we've got two sets of notes to go through for tonight. Oh Lord. No, that happened on tonight's episode, which was questionable. We get some bingo. Woo!
Yeah. Honestly, I was living for the bubble.
Which bubble?
His bingo ball.
Oh, the bingo. Yes. The bingo ball that he had to wear for, I think, less than 48 hours, because that's how punishments work in BB Can. We also see the start of Tina sort of breaking away from the Sunsetters, linking more up with Tara, becoming TNT. Tara mentions how she doesn't trust Kyle and Ro. It's just a lot of we're seeing a lot of the two sides of the house and the people in the middle who are kind of sort of in the middle, not really in the middle. And that leads us into eviction speeches. Kiefer gave a shout out to the people of Haida Gwaii. And he said to vote to keep him if he is good for your game. LaToya was talking about how it was a roller coaster. She's grateful, and she said to honor Victoria's wishes and vote Kiefer out. Unfortunately for LaToya, those were not her wishes.
Nope.
No, and we see with a 6-3 vote, LaToya was evicted third, which, if you had told me at the start of the season that Julie Vu, Josh, and LaToya would be the first three people evicted, I probably would have laughed. And now I'm kind of sad.
I feel like we're in this position where, boy, has it been a good few weeks. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like the end game is going to be pretty uneventful.
I could not agree more. But yeah, so in LaToya's talk with Arissa, Arissa asked if she thought it was a blindside. LaToya kind of knew she was the target, which we did see throughout the week. And that she wanted to be authentic and played the best game that she could. So, you know what? Good on you, LaToya.
All the exciting players are leaving so early.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the biggest fan of her, but I'm kind of we're all getting sheep now. Sheep across the board.
Yep. And speaking of boards, we get into the HOH competition. We get an HOH comp that we get to see the full thing. It was lovely and wonderful, and we were all on the edge of our seats because it was happening live. So this HOH was called Senior Disc Count, which I thought was funny. I always love the BB Can names for comps. They're always just marginally better than the US ones somehow.
Yeah.
And so basically this is a shuffleboard competition. We see this sort of random chance, but also a little bit of skill involved challenge a lot on BB Can. We see it on BBUS as well. You have a giant disc and you have to push it on a table, which is fun and lovely.
Or you have to throw it into numbers or some nonsense.
Or you have to launch a ball into a bunch of cardboard, or what was it? What was the luck comp that Caitlyn won? You had to launch your ball into I think it was buildings or something. And she won. I don't even remember. I'm pulling shit from 3 years ago at this point because that's.
I'm what season was that?
20.
Oh, I stopped counting those ones.
Anyway, we see a lot of these like luck competitions happen. And so we get down to a tiebreaker between Kiefer and Austin, which does also kind of lead us into tonight's episode. But in the tiebreaker, Kiefer ends up winning and becomes the new HOH, which was interesting. Woo!
I feel like I want to say it felt like she threw it to him, but at the same time, she's probably got a lot of regret these days.
Mm-hmm.
If that was indeed the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so So that's all we really had about Thursday. Bye, LaToya. You were entertaining, I guess. Just skipping over to tonight's. Yes.
What about the bingo task?
Oh, I said the bingo task. They did the bingo. Nothing. It was dumb.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Brayden with the bingo ball. That's really all to talk about with the bingo. And then I think he was literally in the bingo ball costume from like Tuesday afternoon until Thursday afternoon, I think is the timeline that we had. So it's like, it seemed pointless. Like, do the task at the beginning of the week so Brayden has to be a bingo ball all week. Like,
yeah, that didn't make sense to me. That's kind of wonky on their behalf.
At least we got to see Brayden.
Yeah,
because we haven't really seen Brayden. But yeah, so we get skipping over to tonight's episode. We get the aftermath of the LaToya eviction, which goes back to what you were talking about the Victoria and Beth confrontation.
Because that's where I am.
Yep.
Tonight. What do you know the details briefly of the confrontation?
So we get this like clip from like 30 minutes before the eviction. Victoria's talking to the Bubble Boys, Jed and Ty, but I'm just gonna call them the Bubble Boys because it's cute. But Vic is convincing them that Beth was the one that was pushing the LaToya eviction, and that I think specifically she said like it would be a great resume move. Because apparently we're in week 3 and already talking about resume moves.
Oh my God.
Which is lovely, but like you're not going to be able to use your resume unless you make final 2. So.
And honestly, at this point, anyone could be at the end.
Mm-hmm. Except for Julie, Josh, and LaToya. Literally anyone else. But yeah, so then
Put them in a box. Put them in a box.
You can quarantine them again. You did it once. You can do it again, Big Brother. Just bring Julie back.
And you will.
You can and you will, Big Brother. Just do it. But yeah, so then we skip forward to the fallout of the eviction, and that's when this Victoria and Beth confrontation happens, where Vic is in front of Ty and Jed, and Kiefer, I believe, is also there, is trying to pin the entire thing on Beth. Beth does admit that she said to Victoria that it would be a great resume move. And it was interesting in this moment that we didn't get any flashbacks of that. We only got the one flashback of right before the eviction. So, like, Big Brother has all the footage. Like, where is this footage of Beth saying this to Victoria? Like, I'm just like, it was a weird moment. Where is the footage?
Where is the footage? Because I want the footage from day 3 too.
We're never gonna get day 3. We'll be here like 3 years from now. Both of us will have been on Big Brother.
Where is the footage?
Where is? We'll be like, wait, we can finally get the day 3 footage. Like, but yeah. So Beth does admit that she said that it was a good resume move to take out LaToya, but then Victoria's trying to say as well that Beth went around to everyone in the house and was saying to get LaToya out, which Beth denies at this point. I don't get this move from Victoria at all. Like, what do you think? 'Cause I don't get that.
I don't know why we are pinning it on Beth.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those situations where we'll never know unless we get the actual footage. Hello, Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's week 3.
Mm-hmm.
3. Why are we?
It's now week 4, but yeah.
It feels like week 1508.
It feels like this season has been going on for years, honestly. It's been 84 years.
That's what it feels like. I don't know who. Yeah, I don't get why we're trying. It doesn't matter. They're gone. So why does it matter?
Yeah.
Why are we bringing old shit back into the game?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of old shit that we knew about, we get the HOH again. But this time we see a little bit of a clip from in between where in the tiebreaker, Kiefer and Austin are talking and basically agree to keep each other off the block. Kiefer says to Austin that they're coming for you, I think insinuating the throuple. And so they agree to keep each other safe. Have-nots for the week are Tara, Vic, Tina, and Ro for the second week in a row.
I feel a little bad for poor Ro.
Well, did you see the skip the dishes poll?
Is he getting it?
Yeah, so it's on Twitter this time. So for once, us Americans got to vote on something. Thank you, BB Can. But when I voted, Ro had like 77% of the votes. So I'm pretty sure Ro's getting the skip the dishes, which I'm happy about. I don't get why. I mean, I do understand, given the nominees, why Kiefer did that to Ro, but it just felt like a dick move. And I didn't really like it.
Speaking of HOH-itis, I feel like someone already has it.
I don't know if it's HOH-itis yet. I think it's just... Well, Kiefer is in a weird position because we get a DR from him talking about like how he has to stick with the Sunsetters at this point, even though they're the 3 people that voted to evict him against LaToya, because he can't really start over at day 20. And I guess I understand that position, but we've also seen people flip alliances. Like, the best example for me, honestly, is Tina. Like, Tina has fully started to distance herself. Not even start to distance. She is distanced from the Sunsetters.
I enjoyed her and Tara's little moment talking about Stretch Armstrong dolls.
I love them both. I love Tina and I love episode Tara. Live feed Tara is getting on my last fucking nerve. But but episode Tara, I love.
She's not annoying in episodes.
Yeah. We get the HOH reveal. Kiefer gets a letter from his sister. And then in the Wendy's segment with Tina, he gets the video from his girlfriend and all of his kids. She's beautiful and they're adorable. And Tina Thistle got Wendy's, so I'm cool.
I'm kind of... The gag of the season seems to be everybody's ordering chicken from Wendy's.
You know, I clocked it as well. I was like, is Wendy's chicken that good? Like, comment below. Like, is Wendy's chicken that good? Because I only ever get, like, burgers and fries.
I know in the States, Wendy's is better here.
Wendy's is, like, mid-tier here. Like, I'm not gonna... Like, I have one near-ish, but, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to get Wendy's, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But, like, the fry... They do have some of the best fries. I will say that. That's really genuinely... We're at that point in the season where we're talking about Wendy's again. We're focusing on Arissa. That's where we're at in the season. Oh, and I have another very, very important thing to talk about when we talk about the nominees, and I'm annoyed at one of them specifically. But yeah, so after we get the HOH reveal, we see the alpha males going against each other, which is so lovely for a BB Can season, because normally they all just band together, and so we're seeing the Bubble Boys.
Not the Bubble Boys.
I'm gonna call them the Bubble Boys. I think they're like the Bubble Brothers according to Twitter. I'm calling them the Bubble Boys. I don't care. But we get the Bubble Boys against Kyle and Ro. They're Cairo are kind of throwing Victoria under the bus for last week. Jed and Ty are not really having any of it. And that moves into a lot of the revolving door of the HOH. Because that Friday afternoon to Saturday mid-morning time period is when everybody's coming through the HOH.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm trying to find where we are. Keeper, Ro, Kyle, deal making and damage control.
Yeah, they're because everything after Pantry-gate, which they're not calling Pantry-gate, and I'm mad. I think that would have been better. But yeah, they're trying to do damage control with Kiefer after Pantry-gate. Why are they coming to Kiefer a week after? Oh yeah, that's right, because he's HOH. Kiefer's not really buying into it. We get a convo with TNT and Kiefer, who I think we'll look at the alliance chart later on, but I believe they're calling themselves like the pre-90s alliance. Something along the lines of pre-90s, something to do with that. But we see that Kiefer explicitly says that the Sunsetters are safe, meaning the throuple, and he also says that Tina and Tara are safe, which Tina Thistle's safe, great, I don't care. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. And then we get a Vic and Kiefer conversation, which kind of surprised me because I didn't really know where Victoria was with Kiefer based on feeds, but we do see that Kiefer wants to work with Victoria because they're seemingly the only people not in a duo or a throuple in this situation.
Troubles.
Yeah, because we see Kiefer also talking about how he wants to target a duo. And this is like the first
the alliance chart.
Sure, why not?
Take a look.
If you are watching on YouTube, you are seeing the alliance chart. If you are listening on anywhere else, sorry, we can't do an audio version of the alliance chart. This is kind of where we're at, except there's no more LaToya, because she's been evicted. Yeah, so we've got. Oh, this isn't. I don't know. Is this the updated one?
This should be the updated one.
Because it doesn't mention pre-90s, and I think that's on the new one, but I honestly don't remember. But yeah, so we see the oddballs. We see Carb being Kyle, Austin, Roe, Han. We got confirmation today. He said his own name in the episode, and he said Rohan. So, Rohan. It's Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's an updated one, love. Well, then I'm just gonna verbally talk about it. You can find it also at 89 Razorskate 20 on Twitter. Thank you, Razorskate. Yeah, so we see the Sunsetters, which is a solid 4. Tina is in the group as a number, but not really trusted. Victoria wants to work with the 4, but they're not really in anything. We see the TNT Final 2 deal with Kiefer also as a part of the. It is the pre-90s, is I guess what they're calling it, or at least what Razorskate is calling it. We see the TB&J thruple, Ty, Beth, and Jed, the Bossy Glossies. But there is a little bit of distrust between Vic and Brayden and Austin. Carb, who is also and in there is like the Breston Final 2 and the Cairo or Showtime, whatever they're calling it. And Austin and Brayden want to work with TB&J, so that's a new sort of development that's happened over the last couple of days. And then the newest one is the Pink Ladies, which is Tina, Tara, and Victoria working together. Which I do love that 3 as well. But yeah, what do you think about all of these alliances going on, Jordyn?
So I was just looking at it, and so Oddballs is no more?
I guess not. And I have a little bit of live feed stuff at the end we can talk about, but yeah, there's a lot of like distrusting Victoria. Is like the main thing. But yeah, so back to the episode. We get a thruple segment. They called themselves the Isosceles in the episode, but then everything on Twitter is referencing them as TB&J. So I don't know. They're TB&J, the thruple, the Isosceles, updated alliance chart.
Yeah. What is it? I'm still confused. What is an Isosceles?
Okay. So, geometry lesson, Big Brother Canada geometry. Okay. So we've got an equilateral triangle, which is where all 3 sides are the same length. So it's like that, if you're watching the visual. We have a scalene triangle is where all 3 of the sides are different lengths. So like
that's a loaded thing.
Yes. And an isosceles triangle is where 2 sides are the same length.
Interesting.
In this case, I guess because Ty and Jed are the same height. Or, well, they're not the same size according to Beth, but
they are definitely not the same size according to Beth.
I really hate her. I'm just gonna say it. I hate her. I wanted
Hate
to
is
like
such
her,
a
but
strong
no.
word.
Hate is a strong word, and I don't use it.
I honestly,
liberally.
I don't know.
Just
that was something.
It's the microaggressions and the talk about the dicks for me. Like, I'm good.
That small town Alberta girl thing is really it.
Lovely gal. I think my favorite part of the episode, honestly, was the secret Expedia room reveal. Because we just see Kiefer coming down the stairs. And then he just pops in. And as any good super fan would, he checks every inch of the room before anything. And then tells everyone. But then told everyone that he scoured the room. And I'm like, why are you telling, like... I understand, like, I think it was Ty and Beth were there, but Brayden was also there. And to our knowledge, he's not working with Brayden. So, like, why are you telling everyone?
That was a moment. Also,
it was great.
Listen, Big Brother, I know you have something up your sleeve. Your rooms upon rooms upon rooms. Tell us what's in there. We're not going to tell the house. Tell us.
Obviously, there's like a secret power because there's one every season. But normally we find out about it at the beginning of the season and it's teased, and then we're like, "What's the secret power? Ooh, a blood veto, a zombie veto, an apocalypse veto,
black spot, what black?
The black hole veto." Was that what it was?
What was the last season? They also got a power, but it popped out of a.
In
wall.
8 or 7?
8.
Oh, I literally put BB Can 8 out of my memory. Like, I genuinely couldn't tell you anything about BB Can 8.
I think it was related to Wendy's.
The Wendy's veto, the sea salt veto. Is this one just going to be the
raspberry vinaigrette veto?
Not the raspberry vinegar! I'm not talking about that on this podcast. Anyway,
it had to be
we'll probably get like the green leaf veto, and they'll just put like extra dollar store greenery all over a veto. Oh my lord. So we get this conversation with the throuple, and then it goes to, I believe it was Jed and Kiefer, about how Austin is the biggest target. So they're really, really pushing for Austin at this point. And Jed, I think it's Jed in this moment. Everyone blends together at this point. But they say that Austin is more dangerous with Brayden than Kyle is with Roe. What did you think about that?
I don't think that's true because so far, we don't know if it's a strategy or not, but Brayden does not seem to be doing very well with challenges. I would say that the bros would be more threatening in this form.
I don't know, because like we did see remember in the first endurance, hold up a bucket for your life sludge challenge when Julie Vu was still there. Remember when Julie was in the house? Remember that good time? Such good times.
I miss Julie. I miss Josh.
Miss Julie. I do too. I don't miss LaToya.
I don't miss her.
No.
I'm feeling like that was nice karma for some.
Who else did Julie not like? Between, well, we'll talk about the people that are on the block for sure for Thursday. But I'm like, which one did Julie like less? Because I feel like that's the person that's gonna go. But yeah, in that challenge, Brayden was one of the last people in, with LaToya, I think. I remember that right. And then, like, Brayden hasn't really done great, but up till this point, neither have Kyle or Ro. Yeah. And so it's really just like Austin is like the threat, which I do see her as a threat for that house. I just hope she can make it to jury because I do think she deserves a jury spot over some other people that are in the house still. The
clownery of it all.
The clownery. We get serious convos in the balls, which is what we're doing tonight. If you're watching the YouTube version, you will see that our background is the ball pit. We get Austin talking with Kyle in the ball pit about like being nervous that her name is going around. We see one last conversation with Kiefer and Ro before nominations happen. I believe this was I think we saw this on feeds and it was a couple hours before nominations. Ro basically tells Kiefer that he's an asset to his game. It's a lot more damage control, but this time just Ro instead of Kyle and Ro. And another one of my favorite moments from this season thus far from Kiefer, sorries are as valuable as promises in this game. They're not.
Oop.
Love. Not really loving Kiefer anymore as much, but we love the quote.
I think every week we're going to be like, and we dislike this person now.
Yeah, a lot of people, the only person, honestly, that has stayed consistent in my mind is, shocker, spoiler, would you like to guess? Tina Thistle. Tina
Icon Thistle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do get noms. It's Kyle and Ro. Are we surprised? No.
No.
Kiefer says to Ro that he was disrespected and that it wasn't really a heartfelt apology. And to Kyle says that he thought that Kyle's apology was sincere, but if he wasn't on the block next to Ro, he would probably use the veto on Ro. Now, what I will say in this moment, Kyle Moore, I'm looking directly at you, not fake Kyle Moore, but real Kyle Moore, the one in the house. Why the fuck weren't you sitting on the block? Ro was technically the only one sitting on the actual block. Kyle literally just like scooted over, and I'm like, no, sir, that is not the block.
Not the block, not the block.
I was like, don't disrespect the block like that, Kyle Moore. Anyway, yeah, what do you think about these noms, Jordyn?
I wish they didn't change. But it's really hard to... I don't know where Kiefer's head's at. I should know. I'm on the outside. I should be watching, but I don't know.
I don't either.
That pantry moment that should have been called Pantry Gate, that was something. I wonder if he felt... I don't know. It didn't come off that great either. So
no.
This is a week I could care less about at the moment.
I mean, as far as the episode is shown, yes. I've got a little bit more investment. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment when we get to live feed spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers on what has happened since the things of the episode, thank you for watching or listening. Click off now or forever regret your decision. Goodbye. Okay, so we get a veto comp. We don't know what the veto comp was. No one's really talked about it, but the veto players were obviously Kyle and Ro, as well as Ty, Beth, and Austin, I believe.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
I wonder if this was the challenge where they go through water or like sludgy water and they have to solve like a puzzle at the end.
I feel like it could be that or something with like skip the dishes, because I feel like it is the time for a skip the dishes veto.
Come on, skip the dishes.
Where you like run up the stairs. I remember the one from BB Can 6 where you had to like run up the stairs and deliver the things, but it was also a mental comp. I like those comps. I think those are the comps I would do well in.
One of my favorite comps was where they had to rearrange the furniture.
I love the furniture task. I was like, what is this comp? But yeah, so we heard some rumblings before the veto happened that Ty and Beth were gonna, or is it Jed and Beth? I don't remember. Where they were gonna throw the veto comp to the nominees, and so that's been like a point of contention for the week. Regardless, we see, despite the 2 weeks on slop, Roe won the veto.
He did.
Good for him. I mean, for me at least, like that is the better option if one of the nominees was gonna win veto. Like I would have rather it be Roe than Kyle. And we do see that the veto meeting happened today. Roe did use the veto on himself, and what we had seen throughout the week came true, and that Kiefer put up Austin as the replacement nom. So we are going to see Kyle versus Austin come the 4th eviction.
I honestly hope Kyle is the one evicted.
Same.
But I also feel like Austin is definitely in danger.
Yeah. From the sounds of it, it looks like Kyle's going, and he kind of knows that he's going. I think we'll see him put up a fight. I hope not, if I'm honest, but
the last few weeks have told us anything is possible going into the eviction.
It absolutely is. And with that, there's been a lot of other live feed stuff, but honestly, none of it's really that important. Like there were some like fights today, but I don't really care.
I'm looking forward to seeing possible popcorn at the veto ceremony.
If Jed actually brought popcorn to the veto, I will die on Wednesday. Like that just sounds amazing. I'd be very excited. But yes, we will be back. That's
something Wednesday. I would do.
That is something I would do too. Yeah, we will be back Wednesday, 30 minutes after the episode. Wednesday is still at the same time. But they did change the Thursday eviction, or the Thursday eviction episode is now at 9 EDT because we are in daylight savings.
Which is why we're probably going to be going to a Friday schedule. Well, once we have the exact time, we will let you guys know.
Yeah. We should probably know by Wednesday's episode what we're doing. We just felt that Friday was a little bit better because we've noticed we were a little low energy on Thursdays after the eviction because it is back-to-back days. But we will see what a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule looks like, and we'll
be in the ball pit.
We'll be in the ball pit. We'll be having serious convos in the balls.
Yep. See you guys Wednesday.
Goodbye.